Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up on the October 3rd edition of Carolina Week, we'll give you the final word about the suspension of the rugby team.
We'll show you how the victims of a Carrboro fire are coping after the ashes.
In sports, we'll show you Carolina's weapon that keeps the opponents guessing.
Weathercaster Johnny O will have your Carolina Week 4-day forecast.
All that and a perilous pumpkin predicament. Carolina Week starts right now.
From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
Hello and welcome to the Wednesday edition of Carolina Week. I'm Sarah Huffman.
And I'm Adam Rue. Thank you for joining us. The rugby team has been on suspension since early September, accused of hazing, misrepresenting the university, and violating the alcohol policy. Reporter Lib Curley is live in the newsroom with the latest about the team's off-field problems. Lib?
Adam, last night members of the rugby team found out they'll be back on the pitch in a couple of weeks after a month-long suspension. UNC's rugby club filed into Fetzer last night in a different uniform. During a 2-hour meeting, the UNC Sports Club Council tried the team on 2 of the original 3 charges. The hazing allegation was dropped before the meeting began. Co-captain Todd Gardner says the team wasn't surprised.
The charge of hazing was dropped completely, and that's something that we always knew was going to be dropped. It's just a shame that it pulled us down initially.
The players waited as the council deliberated, and the verdict was split. The council found the team innocent of misrepresentation of the university, but guilty of violating the alcohol policy. Officials found Facebook pictures indicating underage drinking, which served as primary evidence in the hearing. Council member Kathleen Casanova says the players' behavior during the deliberation worked in their favor.
Well, I think that the evidence presented itself in such a way that it was pretty obvious that violations had been made. But I think what was really pleasing and was really a really pleasant surprise was how seriously the team took it and how invested they were in making changes.
The players emerged from the meeting with the title of UNC Rugby intact. They'll serve 2 weeks probation as punishment, which means they can practice but not play competitively. All scheduled matches are canceled, but officers will have the opportunity to reschedule those games after the team is reinstated. Soon this field won't look so empty, and this ball will be back in the action. The players will hold their first practice Friday afternoon on Ehringhaus Field.
So, Lib, there's no punishment for the team beyond the next 2 weeks?
No, but you can bet the Sports Club Council will be keeping a close eye on all club teams following this incident.
Lib Curley live in the newsroom. Thank you.
Chapel Hill police say gang members are responsible for this week's shooting at Visions nightclub. Shots rang out inside the club early Monday morning, leaving 6 people hurt. Investigators say they've connected some of those involved to Durham gangs. But at this point, officers still don't have any suspects. Many neighbors say Visions isn't the first problem spot on Rosemary Street. They want the town to close Visions just like it did with Avalon nightclub after a murder there last year. Police spokesman Kevin Gunter says Visions owners have decided to keep the doors closed until the investigation ends.
Well, I think they are concerned as well. They emphasize that they are looking at the direction of their club, so they're concerned as well, as they should be.
Gunter says officers have responded to Visions at least 30 times since the club opened in January. And now a follow-up to Sunday morning's deadly apartment complex fire in Carrboro. Reporter Carla Babb is at the site to see how survivors are coping.
Sarah, this is a typical apartment building in the Colonial Village complex, but after Sunday's fire, this charred rubble is all that's left of what G Building residents used to call home. A teacup, some clothes, and a piggy bank.
His dog's hair.
These things are all that's left of what Jonathan Foster called home for 2 years.
Right here would have been the walkway, the stairs. They pretty much came right here and went right up beside those trees. This way is where my apartment was.
This is the first time Foster's looked through his belongings since the fire on Sunday.
That's my golf shoe. Was my golf shoes.
He says he was fortunate to be with family in Broadway, North Carolina at the time of the fire, but he still feels helpless.
I guess I'm needing of goodwill right now, you know.
Because nothing lost in the flames was insured.
I did not have renter's insurance, and that's one thing I would say everybody needs to get. I didn't have it this time, and if I ever rent again, I know I will have it next time.
But there's a glimmer of hope rising from the ashes. The American Red Cross gives fire survivors money to live off in times of need, and spokesman Tim Bodie says they're happy to help.
You wish disasters never occurred, but it's always great to have an organization such as the American Red Cross who can go out and meet with the clients when a disaster does occur to help them get back on their feet.
Although Foster appreciates the help, he knows there's still a long road ahead.
It's just going to take time and to rebuild everything I had and try to, start over from scratch.
And since no one I talked to had renter's insurance, all the families say they can do is stick together to start rebuilding their lives.
So Carla, what can people do if they want to help?
Well, if they want to donate, they can contact the Orange County Red Cross. Their information's on our website at www.carolinaweek.org.
Carla Babin-Carborough. Thank you, Carla.
Students at UNC are working to show support for pro-democracy protesters in Burma. Images of monks protesting against the corrupt military junta have garnered international attention. The Southeast Asia Interest Association at Carolina is hosting Burma Awareness Week, featuring a documentary, discussion, and political awareness among students. Joey Mara says Awareness Week provides a chance to educate the community about what's happening in Burma.
It's critical that the world, the international community, support Burma and, and try to usher out this really corrupt regime.
The SEAIA will sponsor a discussion today featuring a former political prisoner in Burma, followed by a candlelight vigil on the steps of Wilson Library.
If you're confused about whether you want to major in public health or public relations, you could have found some guidance today. The General Alumni Association hosted the annual Majors and Minors Expo in the Great Hall. The event gave students a chance to talk to representatives from different majors and pick up information. The schools tried everything from free toothpaste to sweet tarts to science experiments in order to woo students to their tables. If you missed the expo, you can still pick up an information packet at the Alumni Center.
With energy costs on the rise, people are looking for any bright idea to reduce their power bills. Home Depot is just one of many retailers selling eco-options light bulbs designed to reduce your energy bills and help preserve the environment. They consume 75% less energy and last up to 10 times longer than other bulbs. To switch to eco-options, just make a quick stop at your local hardware store.
Are you a smoker who already feels like you're spending too much money on cigarettes? Then you might not want to see Congress pass a bill it's recently proposed. The bill is intended to give additional funding for children's health care, and the money would come from raising the tax on cigarettes. The bill would increase the tax on a pack of smokes from 39 cents to $1. That's a 156% markup and might not sit well with consumers. Smoker and UNC senior Tyler Utt says he'll keep right on smoking.
I appreciate what the government is doing. If they decide to raise taxes on cigarettes, like government taxes on cigarettes, I would still buy cigarettes because I enjoy smoking and I support the government. So, I mean, it's really not that big of a difference.
President Bush has already said he'll veto the bill if it makes it to his desk.
You know, I really like to build things.
Me too, and so do these students. Coming up, Carolina seniors give Habitat a helping hand.
There's something about you, baby. I can't get enough. There's something about you, baby. I got you looking at me, I'm gonna call you bluff. There's something about you.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Have you been a dad today?
Down to the morning light.
Can I take your order, please?
Yeah. Hi, could I get a number 2 with a lemonade, please?
Could you make that a number 5 and make it a chocolate shake?
Number 5 with a chocolate shake.
What are you doing?
I'm ordering for you.
No, actually, I'd like a number 2.
5 with a chocolate shake.
With a lemonade,
Chocolate
actually.
shake.
Sir, could
Sorry,
you,
sorry,
could you please stop that?
I just wanted to order number 5 with a chocolate shake.
I'd really like you
All
to
right,
stop
lady.
I'd like you to stop it.
No.
While most students took a break on Saturday, some geared up to work with Habitat for Humanity to build a house. Reporter Michelle Sapullo has more.
What does it take to turn this into this? It takes nails, plywood, and volunteers ready to work. The senior class is sponsoring a Habitat for Humanity house in Hillsborough.
Volunteers with Habitat for Humanity spend about 14 Saturdays building a house for someone in need.
Many are more than willing to give up their Saturdays for this cause. Lizette Lopez says the Carolina Hispanic Association was eager to provide its help.
They were looking for bilingual speakers so that we can actually interact with the house, like as the house owner, so that's why they asked the Carolina Hispanic Association to do this. So, and I feel like the homeowners are really deserving, so that's why we came out.
The house is going to the De Godillo family. They're a family of 5, and the father, Victorino, has been working to help build countless homes for others. He says this house is much more than a shelter to him.
He said for every Latino, it's a dream to be able to own your own home, and now his little dream is able to come true.
Senior class president Ashley Shores has been raising money for the event, including putting on a benefit concert Tuesday night at Memorial Hall. She says the family's gratitude keeps her hard work in perspective.
The parents would do anything for their children, and the mom kind of told us that she almost felt bad that they got picked to do this house because at least that, you know, they could provide some kind of shelter for their home or for their kids, and some people can't even do that.
The house will be finished by the end of April. Carolina students are working hard and making friends as they go. In Hillsborough, I'm Michelle Sapullo, Carolina Week.
To see a list of upcoming fundraising events, go to the link on our website, www.carolinaweek.org.
With the paint dried and the pictures hung, the Ackland Art Museum in Chapel Hill is finally renovated, and the permanent galleries are back in place for the first time since 1991. The much-needed renovations enhance the permanent works and also add to the experience for those of you who drop in to see new exhibits. Just in time for the museum's changes, a new temporary display, The Art of Looking, opened this week. Museum spokesman Nick Brown says the new atmosphere was worth the wait.
Now if you come to the Ackland, it'll look familiar, but if you look closely, every room, every wall, every piece of art is going to be different.
Admission is free, and if you want to get more information about the Ackland, you can visit our website at www.carolinaweek.org. Major renovations don't always mean things are working like they should. Students want to know what's happening in Morrison. Residents of the practically new dorm on South Campus are experiencing some issues. There are reports of AC malfunctions, elevators getting stuck, and a sewage pipe leaking into one of the kitchens. Renovations were intended to correct such problems. Morrison residents are hoping the problems get fixed, but they're not letting the inconveniences distract them from the really important things in life.
Students have Facebook, music artists have MySpace, and now moms have an online network too. TriangleMommies.com is part of the Mommies Network, an online community for mothers. The website has expanded operation to all of the states shown in green. The network is free and connects moms within the same community so they can create friendships and share motherhood tips. To become a member, mothers must live locally or intend to live in the respective area in the next 6 months. Raise a cup or two to a century of support. The bra turns 100 this year. It was 1907 when Vogue magazine first used the term brassiere. Since then, this once unmentionable undergarment has come a long way. From sports bras to sexy bras, the bra comes in countless shapes, styles, and colors. Rhonda Mayhew worked in a lingerie department in the 50s and tells us what it was like for women back then.
Bras were always white, and the ideal shape was a cone. They were stitched in a circular pattern, and if you look at old pictures, everybody's breasts look like ice cream cones.
Although Madonna's cone shape is out, bras enjoy a lot of popular support. Happy birthday, bra.
You might have heard of Nike's Air Jordans, but have you heard of Air Natives? Nike recently released the Air Native N7, an athletic sneaker designed specifically for Native Americans. The shoe is wide and has a large toe box, after Nike found that in general, American Indians have a much wider and taller foot than most shoes are designed for. UNC freshman and Lumbee tribe member Brandon Blaylock says he's always had trouble finding comfortable shoes.
It's really interesting because actually me and my brother, our feet, are they're not that long. They're kind of short, but they're tall. So it's really hard to find a shoe that fits that foot. So you're walking around day after day and, you know, an uncomfortable shoe, and I don't know, it just gets annoying after a while.
The Air Native N7 also features traditional American Indian designs, including sunrise to sunset to sunrise colors, leather detail, and feather designs. And now we're joined by weathercaster Johnny O.
Johnny, what's the outlook for rain?
Well, you know, gray skies gave us a sticky mist this morning, but unfortunately we didn't get the rain that we needed, as you can see by these dry leaves. Will we see any relief in the coming days? Your Carolina Week forecast coming up.
Tarzan, Lord of the Jungle, King of the Apes, father of boy. He knows what it takes to be a dad. You go for a ride, you take a swim, you hang out. All it takes is time. Hey, it doesn't take a hero, but it takes a man to be a dad.
Global warming. Some say irreversible consequences are 30 years away. 30 years? That won't affect me.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm Jonathan. I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are. We're taking a look at our weather headlines. We need the rain. It's been quite dry for quite some time, and unfortunately, it seems like that we've been dry for the past few days, but it seems like the rain is now possible. We might be seeing a system moving toward our direction. I'll tell you about that in just a bit. And then we're going to stay warm. We thought that fall was going to come and stay, but it decided to go on a fall break, and so we're seeing warmer conditions at this time. And so be prepared. You might want to keep those shorts next to you because you may need them for this coming weekend. We're taking a look at the North Carolina satellite radar. We had clouds earlier today, but now we're seeing it clear out. But look at South Carolina. All the rain and the clouds are moving into that state. But notice it also has a northerly pattern, which means that we might be seeing some of that moving to our neck of the woods by Thursday and Friday. Let's take a look at the southeast satellite radar. We have a low pressure system located right there, and that's bringing all that moisture into the southeast. We also have a cold front that's draped right there. Let me see if I can get this drawn on there. There we go. This is moving toward the east, and by the time we hit Thursday and Friday, these two features will come together and give us a better chance of rain. And then by Friday, everything should clear out. What does that mean for the game this coming weekend? Let's take a look at our game day forecast. Saturday, this coming Saturday, noon at Kenan Stadium, Miami at UNC. See how this matchup works out. Partly cloudy skies around noon. We're expecting temperatures to be around the upper 70s by the afternoon hours. Toward the end of the game, we should be seeing temperatures around 80 degrees or so. If you're actually headed to the mountains instead of going to the game, expect temperatures to be in the mid-80s under partly cloudy skies. Overnight lows would be in the 60s. Now, if you're headed to the beach, we'll be expecting temperatures to be around the same again, but because of the system pushing through, we're expecting a chance of rain on Saturday, clearing out to partly cloudy skies on Sunday. Temperatures will be around 80 degrees. Here's your forecast for tonight. Expect temperatures to be in the 60s, mid-60s, 65 in Chapel Hill, 64 at Duke, with a slight chance of rain tonight. Tomorrow, a better chance of rain, about a 30% chance of rain. Temperatures will be in the lower 80s. The next 4 days, here are the things that you need to keep in mind. A chance of rain for the next couple of days. Temperatures will be in the lower to mid-80s. And then overnight lows will be cooling off to the lower 60s, and then we'll expect sunny skies as we head into the weekend. So it should be wet. We need the rain. We'll see wet conditions for the next couple of days and then drying out for this coming weekend.
Well, I'm sure the rain will be much appreciated, but I hope it is beautiful for the game.
I hope so too.
Johnny, thank you. Cycle North Carolina is a highlight for bikers from across the Tar Heel State. The 9th annual tour made a stop in Mebane Tuesday evening. Bikers arrived throughout the afternoon and enjoyed some Alamance County hospitality. The event attracts bikers ranging from 2 to 82 who learn about 8 communities along the 450-mile route. Robert Redfoot camped with the group but didn't ride into Mebane because his bike is a twisted mess. He went head-to-head with a car yesterday and lost.
I went up over the hood, I remember the hood, hit the windshield, smashed the windshield out, and then flew forward because he was braking and landed onto the ground.
Despite the close call, Redfoot isn't going to quit the sport. He already has plans to ride Cycle Tennessee next year.
And we're joined now by sportscaster Sarah Moore.
And Sarah, it doesn't feel like it with all this hot weather, but hockey season's already started?
It is. I've actually never been to a Hurricanes game, but I'm really excited to go. Coming up in sports, did it just get colder in here? We'll show you the calm before the storm as the Carolina Hurricanes prepare for their season opener.
I'd like to pass them back to you now. Very pleased with your work. She's got the drive, the energy, the heart, and the talent. But she wouldn't be here without your help. Please support the United Negro College Fund, because a mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Following the tragic events of September 11th, there have been hundreds of violent attacks against innocent Americans.
Remember what that flag you're waving stands for.
Remember, please stop the hate.
We're stronger when we are united.
Remember what that flag you're waving stands for.
One nation under God.
Indivisible.
With liberty
and justice
for all.
In America, there's either room for everyone, or it's not America. Don't pick the wrong fight.
Let's keep America land of the free.
Stop the hate.
Welcome to Carolina Week Sports. I'm Sarah Moore. Isn't it basketball season yet? Another Tar Heel football player's season is done following Saturday's game versus Virginia Tech. Kendrick Williams, better known as T37 by his teammates, tore the ACL in his left knee and will miss the remainder of the season. Williams is a former walk-on who earned a scholarship and is starting a cornerback job this season. He also contributed heavily on special teams. Sophomore Jermaine Strong says the defensive secondary will miss Williams on the field.
Like I said, you lose a leader like T, man, it's pretty hard, you know. But we just got to, you know, he's going to be on the sidelines with us. You know, we just got to come together and, like, you know what I'm saying, just step up, try to be a leader.
Strong will replace Williams at cornerback in Saturday's game versus Miami. The football team might be losing some veteran players, but Mackenzie Hamrick shows us how freshman H-back Ryan Pianalto is proving himself on the field.
First things first, what exactly is the H-back?
He is pretty much a fullback, a tight end, and a slot wide receiver all in one position.
The name basically says it all. The H-back is a hybrid back. On any given play, he might be staying up to block, sprinting down the middle as an option for the pass, or perhaps even carrying the ball up the middle.
You may not really truly understand all the things that he can contribute, whether it's in blitz pickups and catching the ball, and as well as running and blocking. You know, we want to try to identify that guy.
Coach Davis's first Carolina team is well stocked with young talent at the H-back and tight end positions. We've seen freshman Zach Pinalto take the field as the H-back. Against Virginia, he had a career-best 5 catches for 43 yards. But the H-back offense isn't complete without the help of the offensive line. And for center Scotty Linehan, the offense allows these guys to mix it up out there on the field.
It gives us a lot of different formations, and you're able to move, you know, put people in different spots and confuse the defense and keep them on their feet.
Confusing the defense is something the Heels must do this weekend against Miami. So far this season, the Hurricanes' defense hasn't allowed a first-half point in their last 4 home games. When coaching at Miami, Davis utilized the H-back, and now he hopes the position can contribute some points against his former team. In Chapel Hill, I'm Mackenzie Hamrick, Carolina Week.
Better news for our guys out on the pitch. UNC's men's soccer team recorded its first victory at Fetzer Field Tuesday, 7-1 against Liberty. Right here, corner kick, it's up, and Bill Dworsky flicks it in. This was Carolina's first home win in the 2007 season. 7 Tar Heels scored in what would become the Heels' first offensive blowout of any opponent since 2002. The 7 goals are the second most goals scored by an ACC team this season. And watch this, 3 heads sure are better than 1. Ryan Adelaide finally gets the goal. The Heels play Virginia Saturday in Charlottesville.
When you hit these shots early and they go in, you know, it deflates a little bit the other team. You get momentum, you get confidence, and the longer a team hangs in, the more difficult it's going to get.
The Carolina Hurricanes open their season tonight against the Montreal Canadiens at the RBC Center. This year marks the 10th anniversary of the team's move to North Carolina. The Canes are looking to bounce back from a disappointing year. They missed the playoffs and finished in 11th place in the Eastern Conference. However, GM Jim Rutherford kept the core team intact this offseason. By missing the postseason, the Hurricanes got some much-needed rest this summer. Goalie Cam Ward says the Canes are healthy and focused on making another serious run at the Stanley Cup.
We've got to do the best that we can to get ourselves not only physically prepared but mentally prepared each and every night for battle. And we know that we've got the skill and the character in this dressing room to be very successful. It's just a matter of going out there and executing our game plan.
And on Monday, we'll have a more in-depth look at what to expect from the Hurricanes this season.
All right, well, there are a lot of high expectations for that team.
Definitely.
Thank you, Sarah. One of my favorite parts about fall is pumpkin carving.
Yeah, it is fun, but coming up, find out why you might not see this scene very much this fall.
North Carolina is where the wonders never cease. It's where visitors and residents alike can be touched by these things and always remember the embrace of clouds around a mountain peak, sparkling water forever in a hurry, a bridge less traveled, an enchanted wetland forest, and the place where the sun meets the sea.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
You taught him how to hit a baseball, a 9-iron, even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
The drought is taking a major toll on North Carolina's vegetation. Reporter Kelsey Colt shows us why the dry weather might also make people's porches look a little bare this month.
Jack-o'-lanterns are one of the most popular Halloween traditions, but this fall, the lack of rain made growing pumpkins more difficult for local farmers. Milton Ganyard says his farm's pond and trickle irrigation system helped save his crops.
What affected us more than the drought was the heat. Pumpkins don't like hot weather, and we had extremely hot weather.
Because of this year's drought, pumpkins that may look perfect on the outside look like this on the inside.
Student Jack Hankins hopes rotten pumpkins won't be prominent in this year's selection.
Little kids probably enjoy making pumpkins with their families because it's just like not Halloween without the pumpkins, and they like making the little faces on them.
Ganyard thinks the supply will last until October 31st.
It's hard to say for sure, though, because we don't know how many pumpkins are out there. We can only look and guess. And we do bring pumpkins in from other farmers, and their supply is shorter. A lot of them have less than half the number of pumpkins they would normally have.
So just to be sure, pick your pumpkin early. In Chapel Hill, I'm Kelsey Colt, Carolina Week.
That makes me really sad because I feel like pumpkins are kind of like the introduction to fall.
Yeah, it sort of brings out the kid in all of us.
Well, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.